What's going on, everyone? This is Gaffney for the United Devils. Welcome to the match reaction and the player ratings for the game that's just finished. We just played Brighton, our second game in the Premier League, and we got the win in the end after it was a pretty shocking performance. I got no clue what we was doing for most of the game. We were lucky to come away with the 3 points, quite frankly. I'm going to get straight into the player ratings, but I am going to say in my last player rating video for the Palace game, I think I was a bit lenient with all the ratings. I probably didn't go in harsh enough as I probably should have, especially with the defence, the players at the back who I gave the ratings to. But I'm going to be a bit more strict in this one, be a bit more harsh, because the defence was shocking in both games, to be fair. So I'm going to start with De Gea, who I actually think had a very good game. I don't think you can, you can't really blame him at all for any of the 2 goals, and the amount of times, you know, Brighton hit the woodwork. De Gea was always there. You know, well, obviously he didn't save it because it's hit the woodwork, but he had it covered more often than not, and he made a great save as well when we were 2-1 up. Obviously, they scored after that, but regardless, he made some good saves today. So I'm going to give him a 7, which is just above average. His distribution, there wasn't any big issues with. But, yeah, so I'll give him a solid, just above average, a 7 for De Gea today, because he did make that massive save. At right back was probably our worst player today, was Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to give him a 3. The amount of times... It was the exact same position where they were hitting the post more often than not with Trossard and stuff. The amount of times Brighton had a free space, a free player in that area, and they weren't being picked up was absolutely ridiculous. Wan-Bissaka was shocking today. He hasn't been the same player since the lockdown break. I think towards the end of last season as well, Wan-Bissaka was shocking. I don't know what's wrong. It could be a fitness issue or what, I don't know. But we need to get the old Wan-Bissaka back, because he was probably the worst player today. Absolutely abysmal. He needs to sort himself out. Maybe Williams could come in. I mean, I don't think he should be dropped for the next game, but something definitely needs to be done. Next we have Lindelof. Obviously, Lindelof had a shocking game against Palace last weekend, but you know, he wasn't as bad today. There was nothing good at all. Obviously, defensively, he wasn't solid at all. He was getting bullied about and pushed about a bit, as per, which is obviously the centre-back is a massive issue for United. So I'm going to give him a 4.5. His partner, Harry Maguire, wasn't as bad, but there was nothing good. They weren't strong enough in the air. But obviously what happened at the end of the game, Maguire was... That doesn't happen if Maguire doesn't win the header and he doesn't notice the handball and claim it for the penalty. So, although the first goal we scored was disallowed, it was by Maguire first. I think it was an own goal in the end. But if you look at it, he sort of had a goal and sort of had an assist as well, even though he'll say he had none, but he had a part to play in 2 of the goals. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. Luke Shaw's next at left back, who made Wan-Bissaka look awful today, because Luke Shaw was actually one of our best players, I think. I think a lot of people are giving him criticism because he should have stopped a cross or something, but it was a peach of a cross for the one Brighton chance. So I'll give him a 7.5. He got up and down the pitch really well. He worked hard at Luke Shaw, one of our better players. I think he earned the free kick as well for the first goal. So... yeah, next up is Matic, who, again, I'd give a solid 7.5. He was definitely one of our better players. Again, there's an argument for man of the match. He was solid. And when Pogba came off, who we'll get onto next, he worked a lot better with Fred. I think Matic and Fred do work well together, but that can't be the long-term midfield option. So, yeah, like I said, I'll give Matic a 7.5. Pogba, I'd give a 3.5. One of his worst games. He should have been taken off at half-time. So, you know, a 3.5 is a pretty abysmal rating. A load of the passes weren't working. He was trying to do simple ones and he's having a bad day. Obviously, Pogba's an amazing player, But when he has a bad game, he really has a bad game, and he did. That was one of his shocking games. Should he have started today? I probably would have gone instead of. I would have chose Van der Beek instead. I don't know why it took Ollie so long to bring on Van der Beek, but I think we were better after Pogba came off and Fred came on. So I think the two players we selected in the 11, which I didn't agree with, Lindelof, he shouldn't have started after last week, should have been Bailly. And Pogba, I probably would have played Van der Beek, but that wasn't exactly an awful decision, as I think Lindelof was, even though Pogba turned out to play a lot worse than Lindelof, in my opinion. Next up is Bruno Fernandes. It looked like he was having a bad game in the first half, but he actually came back and he'd done a lot better. It was a fantastic assist for the Rashford goal, and the bottle to score that penalty, and it was a fantastic penalty. I've given him a 7.5, but there were dodgy points in the first half. He's my favourite player for United personally. I think he's the best player we've brought in years. He should be the captain. He's always someone you can rely on from the spot. So next up is Greenwood, who didn't turn up today. Didn't even can't remember seeing him on the ball barely. I gave him a 4.5 rating. Pretty poor game from Greenwood. Him and Wan-Bissaka on that right hand side was shocking. Did not complement each other well. Didn't work well together. But I still would have started him because he's always dangerous to a degree. But he didn't get much of the ball today, and I think if Greenwood's having a bad game, it's always because he doesn't get much of the ball. Next up is Rashford, who I would have said was having a shocking game until he scored that amazing goal. The run was fantastic, and his footwork in the box and the finish, it was really good. So I'll give Rashford a 7. I mean, as I said in the first half, he didn't look like he was there, and he's a player you get very frustrated at. But hopefully that goal can bring his confidence back and he can come back, because that goal was something else. Now we have Martial. Gave him a 5. He was, I thought he was shocking. Well, shocking in the sense that he didn't get much of an opportunity. But it's one of those because there's not a lot he can always do. If Martial has a bad game, a shocking game like he did today, it's because he doesn't get a lot of the ball. Part of that might be down to his movement, but a lot of it is because they weren't getting it up to him. So he wasn't shocking in the sense that he played bad, but he had a bad game because he wasn't getting much of the ball. The subs, I'll give Fred a 6 because I thought he played decent when he came on. He didn't have a lot to do, but he did what he did well and efficiently, if you know what I'm saying. Bailly, I'll give a 5. Nothing awful, but we conceded and our defence was still a shambles even after he came on. Van der Beek, I'd give a 6. Some decent passing about, and his movement and that, he's good. I think he should have started the game. I think Van der Beek and Matic as the two centre midfielders would work well together. I think that's something that we should be trying instead of starting Pogba all the time. As a summary, I was thinking this was my notes at half time. Again, it was a terrible 11. How long are we going to defend Ollie for? I'm Ollie in all the way, and no manager's going to succeed, in my opinion, over our owners at the moment. But he makes bad managerial decisions, such as McTominay starting last week and Lindelof starting this week. He makes bad decisions. He took too long to bring on Van der Beek today, in my opinion. And has Ollie got an easy ticket, an excuse for criticism because he's got the Glazers? I don't know. I'm still very much Ollie in, but he makes shocking managerial decisions. I think the best players in the first half, probably Matic and Shaw. Bruno definitely came about in the second half, so did Rashford with the goal. I thought at one point when I think it was 2-1 to us, I think we played cowardly. We tried to bring them on and park the bus. And we tried this against Southampton towards the end of last season, and it cost us. Because attack is our best form of defence. We come on and we park the bus and we never really do well. Giving them the ball, we never get anywhere. We need to attack and score more. And I think that's our best value for defence, in my opinion. I think we played cowardly. So, I think that's pretty much going to do it for this review. Again, it was a madness what happened at the end of the game. I think it was definitely the right decision to give a penalty, because it was a blatant penalty and it happened before the whistle blew. So VAR definitely saved us on that one. But we played bad today. It was shocking. I was getting very frustrated. It's a weird feeling coming out of this game. You got mixed emotions because we've won the game, but I still feel the frustration because it was a very lucky win. But yeah, all these rival fans, it shut them up because we've got the win. But nonetheless, we played shocking, so it's not an excuse. We don't really deserve the win. So I think that's going to do it for this reaction to the game against Brighton. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at GaffneyH02, and I'll see you in the next one.